Hello, everybody. TGIF, Trade Geeks, it's Friday. Today's September 13th, 2024. Today, for our topic, we're going to talk about election jitters. You know, the internet is blowing up. We had a presidential debate a couple days ago, and everybody's just throwing policies back and forth about what ifs. Today, we're going to talk about a little bit about what's going on in the world and how this affects your Made in Mexico strategy. Some of the cause and effects, again, I mentioned the elections. We just got over the election in Mexico. We're pending the election in the U.S. We don't know what's going to happen. In Mexico, they're going to implement, it looks like, some very intense judicial reforms. Also, China continues to contract. We keep hearing in the news how they're going through their real estate bubble and they're contracting. So as their demand for energy, their demand for raw materials decreases, right? It affects the global economy. And then also in the U.S., we've been beat down by the sharp rate and interest rates. At the same time, we had inflation, so it's been very taxing on individuals, households, and businesses. So we're seeing businesses starting to soften, but I think primarily right now there's just a lot of jitters because of the election. So, being on the border my whole life, ever since I was 8 years old, working in the family business, chasing pesos back and forth across the river, dealing with devaluations. I was around in the devaluation of the 80s, 90s, 2000s. So I'm familiar with it. And what does this mean? Well, normally during the deflationary periods, the peso tends to devaluate, right? Labor supply therefore increases and the labor rates decrease, right? And this makes Mexico very attractive. Um, some of the uncertainties, though, we need to keep in the back of our mind are the Chinese EVs via Mexico. You can get a $15,000 EV in Mexico now that would be comparable to a $50,000, $60,000 car in the U.S. So that's a little perplexing, especially for the U.S. auto industry and the U.S. auto workers. So, that brings the specter of Mexico becoming the back door to China. Also, thirdly, is Mexico's security challenges. They continue to struggle with the security challenges in Mexico. So, what does all this mean, and what can we do? Right? That's kind of the question that I get from our audience. Number one is you got to have a good custom strategy when you're dealing with the border, and especially with EMEX companies. That means that you have to review your parts list, make sure you have all your certificates of origin, because there's benefits for using U.S., Mexican, and Canadian goods, right? That's a big benefit. So you have to certify them. Certifying and validating your countries of origin. Also, your reporting capabilities are critical. Some of these candidates are throwing on that they're going to slap some tariffs. We're still waiting any day now for the U.S. trade representative to let us know how we're going to end up with the 301 section tariffs. Um, so what can we do is also your Mexican CPA. You got to have a good relationship with the Mexican CPA to make sure you're current on all your declarations because that could affect you seriously. Also, labor agreements. We've seen some major reforms in the last several years to the Mexican labor law. So you have to be on top of all your labor agreement and internal policies to make sure you comply. And then also participating in the security agreements. That's something you could do. Mexico has an OEA, which is very similar to the CTPAT in the US. So participating in the security programs are all measures we could take to deal with all the uncertainty that's going on. But I think, most of it is, I think, election jitters. But there are some things on the horizon. We need to just be prepared. It's better to be prepared than reactive. And here at TradeFlex, why do business with TradeFlex? Well, we do a comprehensive business model analysis for our clients. We help them analyze their business models. We help them come up with manufacturing strategies, duty tariff optimization, compliance and regulatory management, duty reduction, U.S. customs rulings, supply chain tariff and engineering, and general cross-border operations. So we're here, we're available. You can always reach out to us at www.trade-flex.com. We have an AI bot. Her name is Lula, and you can reach out to her, and those messages go straight to Austin Powers. our resident tech expert in technology, culture, and innovation. So he'll take your comments, and we're very happy to see him. And we hope to continue to do this. And you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.